It's often useful to assess the network's overall health at a high level using data-driven inputs behind the scenes. Let's explore those details using the DNA Center web interface. The remainder of the demos in this course will use the dCloud DNA Center Assurance Lab running version 2.1, which is the newest available. As discussed in the previous clip, dCloud requires you to use the Google Chrome browser in incognito mode, as I am. Digging into the lab documentation, you'll see that the login credentials for this instance use the values shown in the callout. I'll quickly enter these values, then hit enter to complete the login process. Note that these values may change in the future, but they are clearly displayed in the lab documentation, so be sure to read that before continuing. In the slides, you learned that Cisco DNA Center has 4 broad capabilities: design, policy, provision, and assurance. This course only focuses on assurance, and fortunately, the very first dashboard item on the homepage relates to that feature. The assurance summary displays the network device and client health as a high-level percentage, along with counters of critical issues, trends, and insights. Anything in blue is a clickable hyperlink, such as the user of demo, these health percentages, and the View Details option. Let's click View Details so we can dig deeper into how these assurance percentages were computed. Within the health category, there are 3 subcategories: network, client, and application. The current window is a summary of all 3, and by default, this shows the health status for all managed items in the global network over the past 24 hours. These filters are adjustable for more granularity, allowing you to select specific regions or specific time periods. At present, Cisco DNA Center sees 98 total devices with an overall health score of 85%. Network devices are broken into the 6 different categories shown here, with wired devices on the left and wireless devices on the right. It looks like our distribution switches are in the worst shape with only 7 out of 10 in good health, so let's explore that by hovering the mouse over the distribution bar graph item. This brings up a slightly more detailed view into the health measurement of all 10 devices, indicating 7 in good health and 3 in poor health. Let's click on this item to explore further. This pops up a new window that reveals which measurements contributed to the device health score. For example, all 10 devices have acceptable levels of CPU and memory utilization, but one device has an interface down. Let's click on this problem. This updates the graph on the right, indicating that one device has a problem while 9 do not. Cisco DNA Center tells us to click on the chart elements to dig deeper. We'll select the down item so we can identify the device exhibiting this fault. You could also click on the circle itself, either the red or green sections, which has the same effect. There's some new data at the bottom of the window, so let's scroll down. This particular device is a Cisco Catalyst 9300 switch. The device details are provided at the bottom, indicating the name, model, OS version, IP address, and more. The device has a health value of 1 out of 10, which is the worst, and currently has 2 issues. We already identified one issue, which is an interface down event. Let's click on the device name to switch our context from network-wide health to device-specific health. In Cisco DNA Center parlance, this view is known as Device 360 Health, providing both broad and deep measurements specific to a given device. There's a ton of data here, and we won't cover all of it, but let's investigate that second issue. At the bottom of the screen, it says Issues 2, so let's scroll down to see the details. We knew earlier that the device was suffering from interface down events, and specifically, we see it was gigabit 0/0, which has flapped 64 times. The second issue is that our network device is not synchronized to a specific network time protocol or NTP server. Both of these issues are marked as P3 or priority 3, and there are 4 priority levels from P1 to P4, with P1 representing the most urgent issues. Let's click on the interface flap issue to see if DNA Center has any recommendations for us. Unfortunately, DNA Center won't always be able to provide you an automatic root cause analysis assessment, so you'd have to troubleshoot this particular issue manually. Click the X in the top right corner to close this pop-up. For completeness, let's check the NTP-related issue to see if DNA Center has some troubleshooting tips. This time, DNA Center has some suggested actions. Click the Preview All button to see the details of each action. Scrolling down, DNA Center is suggesting that we collect the NTP configuration first, then execute some show commands to collect the operational fields. Let's click the Run button for the first task, which will direct DNA Center to collect this information for us in an easy, automatic way. The lack of output suggests the device has no NTP configuration at all, so it's no surprise that NTP is not synchronized. Let's click Run for the second task just for completeness, although we are unlikely to see anything useful given our lack of NTP configuration. Scrolling down to review the results, Show NTP Status reports that NTP is not enabled, which reinforces the fact that NTP isn't even configured on this device. We learned that in the first task. I'm not exaggerating when I say you could spend all day just digging through the health measurements for various network devices. For this demo, we started at a high level, then kept digging deeper into a small set of issues on a single device. You can repeat that process for other devices to gain additional experience.